So in this video I'm just going to cover the parcel shelf in a Tesla Model Y. So why is a video needed on a Tesla Model Y parcel shelf? Well, it's because I'm still seeing questions being asked in the forums and Facebook groups about this subject, so I thought I'd just make this quick video to answer those questions. So initially the Tesla Model Y didn't have a parcel shelf, and these mouldings were just flush and didn't have that supporting lip along there. And then third-party companies started making the traditional roller blind parcel shelves that you could then retrofit in your car. But then later on Tesla started making a parcel shelf of their own. And in the traditional Tesla way, when they make something, they make it as simply as they can, because their mantra is the best part is no part. So their parcel shelves are simply a foldable one-piece unit. 90% of the viewers of this channel are not subscribed. I'm sorry to ask, but it would help greatly if you would. Just press the subscribe button. It's free and it shows YouTube you like this sort of vehicle related content. If you want to be notified when new videos are released, please click on the bell button also. Thank you, it really helps more than you would imagine. However, this is the later design, because initially it only had the two folds in it, one there and one there, and this was all one piece. But now the later models have an additional fold in it. So actually it does fold up reasonably easily and does a decent job. And I've seen videos of the previous version where this was one piece and it did look very awkward to use, so this later design is much better. However, when this car was new, this was all much stiffer than it is now, and I found that it was a bit of a battle to get this to fold up, and then it would sort of sit here and it was constantly folding down and getting in the way, or even like it just did, pushing all the way back. But now this vehicle is 6 months old, it's done 10,000 miles. I've opened this plenty of times and that's got much softer, easier to open, and it sits there by itself quite happily and isn't trying to collapse down all the time. So initially when you're new to a Model Y, these parcel shelves do feel a little bit awkward because they are different to other vehicles, and when they're new they're stiffer and they don't move quite so easily. But when you open the boot, this isn't obviously attached to the boot lid because it's bigger than the aperture of the lid anyway, so it can't lift up. But to open it, you just get hold of the bottom bit and just give it a little bit of a kick up and it simply folds up. If it's stiff, you can give it a whack underneath and that forces it to fold in the right place. And you really want to fold it all the way back up like that so it stays there and it's not getting in your way when you're loading your stuff into the boot. I have seen videos where some people then hook it over the headrests like that to hold it in place, but I just haven't found that's needed at all, and if anything that's more awkward. I have also seen videos where people lift this section and make that slide down the back of the seat, which I don't think I can do while holding a camera because it requires two hands, but it's got to do that. Yeah, there we go. And then it does that. But again, it clearly wasn't designed to do that, and that's a lot more awkward than just folding it in the way it's designed. And there we go, it's now come off its rail. And Tesla like to use magnets where they can instead of catches, and this bit here is magnetised on there to hold that in place, which is quite nice. So to remove the parcel shelf, you can either fold it up like that, lift it out like that, or just get that in place. You can either lift the back up and then slide it out that way. And then when you're putting it back, it's the opposite, depending on which way you prefer, but I prefer to keep it folded up, put it in place, the little tag finds its way because that's magnetic, and do that. So it's actually very simple and easy to use once you're used to it. So the parcel shelf itself is made up of a very lightweight, rigid, hollow board. I would assume it's like a honeycomb plastic, but it's very stiff, very strong. You've got the black material on one side. It does have a very slight foam padding underneath, and then on the underside is the black felt to match the rest of the carpet in the Tesla. And it is just these 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, and then the hinge is just simply the fabric. I do find though it does tend to get dirty along this edge from fingerprints. Depends how dirty your hands are, of course, but this does get grubby over time. But so far I've been able to just vacuum this and the dirt comes off, and so far I haven't given it a proper wash. So if you want to take this out of your vehicle, there isn't any space under the floor to store the parcel shelf. While there is a huge amount of storage in a Tesla, it doesn't fit that parcel shelf. As you can see, I've got a space saver spare in mine, which there's videos on the channel if you want to learn more about that. But yeah, if you want to take the parcel shelf out, you've got to leave it at home. As you can see, there is a gap between the parcel shelf and the back of the seats. These seats have different resting positions, and they are in their furthest back position, and there is about a 1.5 centimetre gap there, but that's no problem at all. If it was tight, then that may well rub or make a noise. As this parcel shelf is, it's completely rattle free. The only thing that's not, I guess, ideal is that bottom part hangs down a little bit low. You know, it should be flat up there, but instead it drops down. Maybe that's by design, because that makes you push it down when you go to open it, and that makes it concertina up in the right way, possibly. Yeah, I guess it is actually, because looking at that, the rails taper off there slightly. So yeah, that's all by design. So anyway, what initially looks like a bit of poor design and feels a bit cheap and rubbishy, it's actually very good, and they've clearly put some thought into it, and it's simple to make and it does the job. However, what's really the point of a parcel shelf? I guess it's just to hide the contents in your boot so people can't see what's in your boot from the outside of the car, and maybe it's to cut down a bit of noise. On the Tesla, it doesn't cut down any noise, it's not really needed for that. As for what's in the back of your car, so the Tesla has privacy glass. So there's the contents of my boot, a bright coloured bag with a sunflower on. And can you see that from the outside? If you put your eyes up to the glass, you can, but from any more than 6 inches away, you can't. You cannot see in that boot at all. So really, do you need a parcel shelf in a Tesla Model Y? Probably not, which is why Tesla didn't fit one in the first place. So anyway, there we go. That's my video on the parcel shelf, Tesla Model Y. If you found it useful, please do click the thumbs up. That really does help. Please subscribe to the channel. If you want to know more about Tesla Model Y, there's a link below to a playlist where you can see all the other videos I've made. Okie doke, I'll see you on the next one.